So I'm just about to head out. I just loaded up the bike with the accessories for the first time. This will be my first longer trip. Heading down to Jönköping today, off-road as much as possible along the way, following the TET. And yeah, it's going to be a great first ride. It'll be a bit of a tryout. I have the rally tower mounted, navigation system, new tires, my new soft panniers. It's going to be great to see how it works. And actually yesterday, quite unexpectedly late in the afternoon, I got my new larger capacity tank, and I just managed to have the time to mount that before today, so I will be heading off with that as well. And it'll be very interesting to see how this works out. A full day, a lot of off-road, probably a long day, and hopefully a party tonight, and then come back tomorrow for a first shakedown trial, see what works, what doesn't, and how I feel about everything. I'm also trying moto vlogging for the first time, so we'll see how that works with sound and everything. But yeah, if I'm going to get there today, I guess I just have to set off. So off we go. Probably have a good 9-hour trip today. It'll be my first time trying out all of the mods that I've sort of decided I needed even before trying the bike too much, so hopefully I've made some right decisions and we'll be all set. If all these things work out, we'll be all set for the summer. We could start off now with about 50 or 60 kilometers of what will be ordinary bitumen paved roads till I get to Södertälje, where I will hook onto the TET and hopefully get to ride a bit more dirt from there. A bit cool, but I've got plenty of clothes on and hopefully it'll warm out a little bit through the day. This first section of the trip is going to be pretty boring, not much gravel, mainly just a way to get to the start where the TET goes, so we'll just speed through it.
As I've already said, this was very much meant to be a first shakedown ride on Hardley, seeing how it works. I've made a lot of mods based on my previous motorcycle experience, and you know, I have a fair bit, and this is the first chance to try out the bike and the mods on sections of the Swedish Trans-European Trail, and hopefully it'll all work well.
So, after almost 70 kilometers, we hit our first bit of gravel, and I'm going to start off with this view of me so you can see my happy smiling face as we start what I hope is going to be a great summer of gravel riding.
One of the tests I was very keen on doing was in how I would get audio into my new DJI Action Pro, and I ended up using the DJI Mic 2.
Okay, facing forward now, still on the first section of gravel. It's great. Beyond these sort of roads, I think I'm going to have a great summer if it's all like this. This is pretty hard packed, easy riding. I'm a bit cold and stiff and not really used to the bike yet, so I feel a little bit awkward, but a few kilometers should solve that, and it's really great to be out riding basically. Great roads.
This was my first miss. Not really used to looking down at the navigation unit, and I missed the turn completely, and our U-turn solved that, and to be totally honest, it wasn't the last time. There were a lot of U-turns on this trip. Some more speeded up footage. Most of this trip is just going to be riding footage, and it's quite a lot of it. I didn't really set out to make a video of this trip. It was mainly just to try the equipment, both the bike and my camera and audio equipment. So there'll be a lot of just views from the bike. But it was an enjoyable trip, so it should be worth watching.
My first wildlife encounter. There are a lot of deer in this area. As long as you have a little bit of time to react, it shouldn't be a problem. I'd hate to hit one. It'd be even worse if it was a rooster. Turned off road and actually found took the first proper trail into this region.
Here you can hear the poor audio. The wireless mic didn't turn on properly when I turned onto this section, and I suppose that's one of the things I wanted to learn, how things work and what I need to be careful with, and I learned that I definitely need to be careful to make sure that the wireless mic connects up and turns on. This was the first proper off-road section, a bit boggy, muddy, wet and sloppy, and the bike handled it really well. The tyres worked. I just had to sort of keep a bit of the weight towards the back of the bike and just slowly power through the muck.
Going to this section. Big time off-road tyres. fun gravel to ride on. In fact, on a bigger road here.
I was really enjoying riding along the gravel roads. The southern part of the Swedish TET has some really nice gravel roads. I was quite pleasantly surprised, and even though quite a lot of the sections are paved, they are curvy, twisty roads, and it's an excellent riding experience. Don't have to go too quick, excellent scenery, and I found so many different places I could have stopped and camped if I wanted to, and all in all, the experience was going to make me look even more forward to my travelling this summer.
I've now done about 200 kilometres, or a bit more, which is more than the old tank would have lasted for, so I'm already very happy with the new tank. There have been some brilliant roads, gravel roads, small turny twisty roads, some forest tracks, nothing really small, but mostly some logging roads, but it's incredible amount of gravel roads, really nicely put together, and it's been a lot of fun. I am starting to wonder if I'm going to make it to Jönköping in time, as because the roads are so small and twisty, it's taking me a lot longer than I expected, and the distance is a lot longer, but we'll see. I'm enjoying myself. It's a little bit cool in the morning, it's gotten a little bit warmer now, so yeah, just motor on and enjoy it.
Of all the mods I've made to the bike, I think the tank was one of the better ones. Oh, I shouldn't say that, some of them were really quite good, but it really needed a large tank. Standard bike only has a 7.7 litre tank, which is good for about 200 kilometres, but then it's completely bone dry. With the new 12.5 litre tank, I can cover more than 300 kilometres, probably something like 350 kilometres, and it really makes the range a lot more usable. So it actually fitted quite well as well. So easy to fit, fits reasonably well, and I think it's actually lighter than the standard tank, so it's a good bike. navigation system I'm using is a DMD2 with their own rugged Android phone. I've been looking around for a navigation system for a while. I'd been sort of looking to buy a Garmin or something for my bike packing, but I never really got around to it. I always just got by with my iPhone and using Komoot or Google Maps, mainly because I was worried about the power requirements. And that's something that I don't have to worry about on the bike because you can charge the phone all the time. It's actually quite luxurious, and so far I really enjoyed using this navigation system. I will probably do a full proper review of it after I have a bit more experience using it.
Okay, I just had to stop for a quick lunch. 1 o'clock, so I'm actually going to have some problems travelling all the way on the gravel tracks if I'm going to make it to Jönköping for the party tonight. So I'll keep going for another hour. Then I think I'll unfortunately have to head down the motorway to make it in time. But we'll see what happens. Needed a break. Got some petrol. Done about 250 kilometers or something on. And I needed some fuel. But now all filled up. Should have enough to get me to Jönköping. And I'll keep going for another hour or so on the small gravel roads, and then I'll have to, unfortunately, probably just take the motorway down to make it in time. But it's been really great. Nice gravel roads, excellent riding.
I did eventually have to decide to take some larger roads down to Jönköping in order to make it in time for the party. I went there to celebrate 20 years of Moderskeppet, the company that I work with sometimes, and it was a great party. I got down there, I had a hotel room booked, and I had to spend about half an hour in the shower just to get warm again, to get my body temperature up. It's a little bit cold. It's a shame. Earlier in the week there had been really nice warm weather, but it was starting to get quite cool again here in early April in Sweden. But it was excellent riding, as I said, and I don't know how many times I can say this, the track is great. If you have a chance to ride on the Swedish TET, do so. Excellent riding, and I really quite enjoyed it. I was disappointed to have to hop onto the motorway to get down there in time, but I did have another day of riding ahead of me to head back home the next day.
Surprising the amount of gravel roads that are everywhere here in Sweden. I'm really looking forward to the rest of this summer. It's unfortunate that I have someplace I have to be at a certain time today. A bit of bad planning by me. I should have realized that it was going to take me a longer time than I thought, but live and learn.
I know the mic looks really odd where it is in my helmet. I really didn't have anywhere else to put it. Tell me it's a bit too tight around my mouth to go fit it lower down, and it looks like it might get in my view, but it actually doesn't. Worked quite well, and although it looks really weird from this angle, it didn't disturb me at all when I was riding. I will look for a better solution going forward, and it looks rather odd looking at that big mic sticking out in my visor, but it worked.
Okay. Okay, start of day 2. It is colder today, but the sun is shining and the roads are just as good as yesterday. So hopefully it'll be a long and fun day. I was a bit tired last night or yesterday, so I didn't party all that hard. So I'm feeling pretty fresh this morning. Looking forward to the day. But it will be a long day. We'll see what time I arrive home. Try to be careful passing through close to houses and different yards. Don't want to annoy people too much.
plenty of great gravel roads, but even the tarmac, the paved roads were excellent. Nice, curvy, twisty, small roads with not a lot of traffic, and I was finding it a little bit difficult taking it easy. I mean, I like riding a twisty, curvy road, and I have said all the time that I'm going to do this easy on a small bike and not try to go too fast. I mean, it's not about racing, but it was quite inviting to open up the throttle a little bit on some of these paved roads, but I did manage to keep mainly on the right side of crazy.
Some great paved roads as well, nice, twisty. Yeah, I'm really enjoying riding along this TET Sweden section.
Hardley, the bike, is a 2014 Honda CRF 250M. It's the super motard version of the CRF 250L, which essentially means it's got 17-inch rims, slightly wider rims, and it's got a 17-inch rim on the front. That could probably be seen as a negative for off-road riding, but it just looks so much better that it's worth it. We'll see how it works out. I've made a few mods to the bike. I will try to go through everything and do a presentation of the bike and the mods I've made on it in a separate video. Basically, I've got a larger tank, I've got a rally tower with LED lights, I've got a navigation system, a proper sump guard, engine guard, and some different mirrors. I've got pannier racks. I don't have hard panniers, I have soft panniers, but I still wanted support for them rather than mount them just on the bike. So I've actually got some pannier racks mounted, and well, that's about it. Lots of blings, some larger foot pegs, some adjustable clutch and brake levers, service hand guards. That was already fitted when I bought it, and basically I've just made it much more feasible bike for what I want to do, I hope. But as I said, I'll do a separate video on what I've done, and then towards the end of this summer, after I put some kilometers on it, I should be able to give you some opinions on what worked and what didn't. And so come back, check that out later on. as I've already said, there were some really brilliant sections to ride along. The trail twists along next to lakes and everything through the forest, and some of the sections are absolutely brilliant. The one thing that was a bit difficult, especially on day 2, was that it was cold. It was only about 1 degree Celsius, and with a cold northern wind blowing, I got really, really cold. Towards the end of the day, I was really feeling frozen. Hopefully, it'll be warmer in the summer when we head out next time, and I really hope to be able to do a lot of sections of the TET in Norway, Sweden, Finland, Estonia, possibly Poland. I might head down to Denmark. I'm going to stay in the northern part of the TET this summer, but try to do most of it up here, check out how the bike works, and maybe get set up to do longer southern sections next year. Who knows? But so far, even though it was really, really cold, I am thoroughly enjoying it and really looking forward to the rest of this summer. had 2 days of absolutely excellent riding, and it made me look forward even more to the coming summer, hopefully with slightly warmer weather, because that was the big problem with these 2 days. It was just too cold. It got really, really cold, and oh well, not as enjoyable as it could be. It was a bit warmer, but hopefully summer will arrive sooner or later, and we will be able to head out on some longer rides with warmer weather and really enjoy ourselves. It got so cold that the last 50 or 60 kilometers it actually snowed, which is probably just a little bit too cold to make it totally enjoyable. But more to come. Keep watching, and hopefully it'll be a really nice summer.